everyone, and welcome to In the Newsroom, where we bring you the behind-the-scenes look on how we deliver the news to you. Well, let's start with the headlines this week. Typhoon Samba, the third major typhoon to hit the nation in 2 months, swept across the country, accompanied by heavy downpours and strong winds, killing at least 2 and leaving hundreds of others homeless. In domestic politics, with less than 3 months remaining until the big race to the nation's top office, the presidential candidates from the ruling and the main opposition parties continued their campaigns, while the widely popular software tycoon Ahn Cheol-soo declared candidates for president. And some welcome news, Korean rapper Psy topped the iTunes Top Songs chart with a single Gangnam Style, making him the first Korean ever to reach #1 on the U.S. online chart. Now, although it has been a very busy week for a lot of our reporters here in the newsroom, we had a chance to gather for a very special event. I myself was there. Well, let's go check out what we were up to earlier this week. Wow, you're here today with me. Well, it's a great day for Arirang TV. We are celebrating Arirang's milestone of reaching 100 million households worldwide. Let's go, let's go. Yeah, I'm feeling quite nervous right now. Didn't expect this to be this huge of an event, but the challenge is I have to do this in Korean. Although I'm bilingual, I've never done this before, so wish me luck. 잠시 후 아리랑 국제방송 1억 수신 가구 돌파 기념. There's lots going on in my mind right now, so I mean, I've got at least 8 or 9 pages of stuff to really, wrap my head around, and I have to get all the orders right. There's a certain video they're going to play, so the timing-wise, and I really have to know what's going to happen. I'm just, trying to wrap my head around it, try to understand what's happening, who's coming, and as you can see, we have several of our newbies, our new reporters out there trying to. We're going to do a lot of back and forth, so hopefully that can work out as well. 함께 써오신 분들이 대부분이실 거라는 것을.
It's different because once I started speaking on my own, I kind of felt like this is a stand-up, so I felt comfortable. But then once I started looking at the person that I'm supposed to interview, I started getting nervous, and I started seeing my face on the screen, and so I kind of blanked out for a little bit. But hopefully in the next rehearsal I'll do better.
그래서 그러면 덕담 한마디 좀 부탁한다고 하는 게 더 자연스럽다. 처음에 인트로가 좀 길잖아, 자기 거가. 나보다 나이가
I heard from directors that we can make mistakes, it's okay, it's more natural to be that way because we're newbies. And because of those comfortable sayings, I'm a teeny bit comfortable than before. I'll do better in the second rehearsal.
그냥 말할 때 자연스럽게 인터뷰는 잘했어. 인터뷰는 포멀한 거니까 하지만 자기 얘기는 자기 얘기처럼 해야지.
I'm going to interview the Vice Minister of Culture, Sports and Tourism, Kim Yong-hwan, because the Culture Ministry is in charge of supporting Arirang TV. I feel more comfortable speaking in Korean, so I think it's going to be fine.
Oh, it's quite exhausting. We haven't started it yet, but already I'm exhausted. I don't know how I'm going to stand for another hour or two, but it's going to begin very soon. So wish me luck, everyone. It's been 16 years, and only been 16 years, and Arirang TV has already reached 100 million households around the world. So I'm extremely proud to be taking part in this meaningful event.
Well, congratulations, Arirang, on 100 million households around the world. I knew we can do it, and I hope to break 200 million in the near future.
100 million households worldwide. I think it's an amazing figure, really a landmark achievement. I'm really glad to be a part of it.
I cannot believe that we're reaching 100 million households now. It's a great achievement, and that gives us a bigger burden and an inspiration to become a better broadcaster in the future. Congratulations, Arirang TV.
Right, so the show is over, but what I can really say is I really wish, especially our viewers, to continue to support and show their love for Arirang TV. And I'll see you guys back in the newsroom. All right, see you later. Hello, everyone. Hi. So the long-awaited announcement has been finally made. It took him a while, didn't it, Ji-Yoon?
Yay! Well, it was for like the past year. I mean, people said he might, run for president. Actually, people wanted him to run for president. He was kind of like a fresh figure, who's not tainted with political corruption and whatnot. But we were actually expecting him to make some kind of announcement after he published his book in July, and he went on this TV show, and his ratings were actually up. But then all of a sudden, he disappeared. So people are like, when is he going to come out? And then yesterday, he finally made the decision and made the announcement.
Popular software mogul turned professor Ahn Cheol-soo now has another title under his belt, presidential candidate.
I have decided to run for president to confront the tasks given to me by this generation.
Since Ahn's book, Ahn Cheol-soo's Thoughts, was published in July, he has been meeting with people from different parts of society to hear what they thought about his vision for the country. And now that he has officially joined the race, Ahn has promised to lead the country by reforming the system of politics. For the time being, it's a three-way race between Ahn, the main opposition Democratic United Party's Moon Jae-in, and the ruling Saenuri Party's Park Geun-hye. For now, it looks like we'll have to wait and see if Ahn will decide to join forces with the Democratic United Party's candidate Moon Jae-in, although today he said that he doesn't believe it's the right time to discuss the merging of the two sides. Lee Ji-Yoon, Arirang News.
There must have been a huge hype on this scene. I mean, it must have been hectic. What was it like on the scene?
Well, we got there, the announcement was supposed to be made at 3 p.m., but we got there at like 8:30.
Wow.
And then when we were there, actually, there were a lot of camera people, because it was a press conference, and there were a lot of reporters, and they actually packed the art center at about 10 a.m. So we didn't have enough seats, so it was crazy. But I got there early, so I got to the front seat. And
did you get a very close look of Ahn Cheol-soo?
I did.
Wow.
I did. I mean, yeah, he looked a little nervous when he was speaking, but at the same time, he sounded very
genuine.
Yeah, he sounded
really wanted it.
Yeah, I mean, he sounded less politician-like. He sounded like someone who really represented the public, and I think that's what he aimed for. So, and no one was allowed on the stage. Not even his supporters or people who endorse him, whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, you've been to Park Geun-hye's announcement, and how different was it?
Well, first of all, Ahn Cheol-soo's was a press conference, so it was bombarded by reporters, mostly reporters, and Park Geun-hye's was a lot more supporters. She had it outside, so people could just stop by and support her, whatnot. But I mean, Ahn Cheol-soo's from time to time, his supporters did come, but not as many as Park Geun-hye's. But
so just ordinary people couldn't enter the place.
They could if they wanted, yeah. But because people knew it was a press conference, so yeah, they knew that it wasn't really something that Park Geun-hye held, which was an open public announcement, I guess. But I think it was interesting that he simply had his speech and then he left. That was it. Like, and he just had handshakes with his supporters, and then he left. But as for Park Geun-hye, they had like events before and after, and singing people, dancing people. So it was more like, you know. But Ahns, I think he wanted to put forth his image of being humble and kind of like people person and
fresh.
Yeah. But Park Geun-hye, she wanted to give like a firm, you know, like image that she's like the next president of Korea and that she's powerful.
For, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So right now it's more like a 3-horse race.
Yes, yes.
What would this mean for, I don't know, Park Geun-hye and Moon Jae-in?
Well, right now, if they would do a 3-way race until the very end, Park Geun-hye has, I guess, more support in a 3-way race because the liberal votes are divided between Moon and Ahn. So that's why experts are even saying that they need to come together so their liberal votes will be, you know, added up together. Therefore, then they could actually win Park Geun-hye. But if it's a 3-way race, it could be kind of like a close race, I guess, and because they're divided. But I think Park Geun-hye right now, things are not looking too good because there are corruption allegations against her, some of her loyal supporters like Hong Sa-deok, and also, she hasn't really made her position clear yet about her view of history and how she defended her father. So those are some things that she needs to clear up. And that's what Ahn said too when he was asked about what he thought about the two candidates. He said that they're both very, you know, good people. That's what he said. And he thinks they represent their parties very well. But regarding her recent comments about the People's Revolutionary Party, and the people who were executed, he said that she needs to come forth with a clear view so the public would know what kind of stance she has on, I guess, what she could be doing in the future. So, yeah.
Right. I mean, we have another 3 months to go. A lot can happen in that time frame. Yeah. So it's going to be a tough month ahead for you, but yes, keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Right, Jin-joo, so did you get to overcome the drag of jet lag with all the traveling with the president last week?
Yes, it's been almost a week after I arrived back in Korea, so I'm pretty much like getting hold of the things here.
So it was an 8-day, 4-nation tour. Well, where did it take you?
Well, first of all, we started in Russia with the APEC summit, and then we headed over to Greenland and Norway to discuss ways to cooperate in Arctic projects. And then the last stop was Kazakhstan to attend a groundbreaking ceremony of this thermal power plant that Korea is jointly developing with Kazakhstan. So.
Countries that we don't usually get to go or heard of, what would you say was one of the most tangible results out of President Lee's trip this time?
Well, first of all, although in Vladivostok, the purpose of the visit was the APEC summit, President Lee got to meet with Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihiko Noda after all the things that went on between the two countries. It wasn't an official, like, separate bilateral meeting. President Lee had to head to Greenland, so he left the venue earlier than expected. Then the meeting ended. So as he exited the venue, Noda followed him out, and then they talked in the hallway about like 5 minutes or so and agreed to develop the bilateral relationship in a future-oriented way.
So it was very informal.
And abrupt, I guess. Then the same thing happened with the two foreign ministers of the two countries during a dinner at the APEC summit. Gemba and Kim Song-hwan met for a few minutes, and they also agreed to deal with these matters in a cool-headed way. Yeah.
How about, so I hear that there is some resource diplomacy going on in Greenland and Norway as well. Can you tell us more?
Well, Korea is trying to develop a new sea route in the Arctic region that will shorten the sailing time between Asia and Europe by 1/3. So if it took 30 hours from Asia to Europe, it will now, if the route is developed, it will take only 20 hours to travel there. So that would reduce the cost of the sailing, and that will benefit both the Asia and the European region through when they have transactions or trade. And another one is resources development, because the Arctic region is known to hold about 160 billion barrels of crude oil, which is about 13% of the world's undeveloped resources, oil resource deposits. So that's huge. And rare earth metals also, it's known to hold 40 times more than that of China. So it's a region of great opportunity for Korea, and not only Korea, but all the big powers in the world are trying to jump in that into the project so that they can get a stake of whatever's going on there.
I think it's quite noteworthy that President Lee is trying to cultivate this new way, an enchanted path to find ways to, make Korea a prosperous country. Because, Korea, as we all know, is not particularly a resource-rich nation. So finding these new ways, creative ideas, I think that's a bold move. I see. So
looks like he's doing a lot, like in his last month in the office.
He is.
And, it comes in line with his push for green growth as well, because when he went to Greenland, he visited this site, Ilulissat, where the area is being really badly being affected by climate change. So I think his last push for green growth and resources development during his last couple of months in office, I think that was the main purpose of his visit to the Arctic region this time.
That's great to know. Thank you very much, and good to have you back. I know that you weren't feeling too well, but hopefully you'll feel better soon. Thank you, Jin-joo. Right, on to some econ news. Hello, Ji-hye. Right, you covered a story on Korea's pension funds increasing presence in Korea's conglomerate chaebol.
Wow.
Not familiar with this news. Can you walk us through?
Yes. So basically, National Pension Service is owning a more stake in the listed companies in the top 10 conglomerates.
Korea's state-run National Pension Fund now owns more shares in the listed companies of the country's 10 largest family-controlled conglomerates than the chiefs that own those conglomerates.
A local research firm, chaebol.com, that monitors business activities of the conglomerates said Wednesday that the average ownership of the pension fund in those companies has recently risen to over 4%, more than double that held by powerful chaebol chairmen.
Experts believe that the increased stakes held by the National Pension Service in the companies will open ways to help rein in the family-owned conglomerates known as chaebol.
Up until now, the National Pension Service, although they had a larger stake than those chiefs, they didn't really execute their rights as they should have been. But it's saying more like because now their stakes is much more higher than a year before, we should, the National Pension Service should execute its right even further to, to monitor those chiefs, the corporate chiefs who have been accused of corruption, illegal acts to earn more money. So maybe people are saying maybe this organization, this National Pension Service, could act as a place where you can check and balance the power between the corporates and the ordinary people, and especially when the disparity is really large between the rich and the poor.
I see. Could this ultimately mean that this could invite government influence over these commercial banks?
Well, till now, we don't know yet. But I heard that this April, I'm not sure about the time, but this April, the government official said that he is he's seeking ways to how to use this National Pension Service to, monitor those big, top 10 conglomerates. So we'll have to wait and see how it works later on. Up until now, there's not much going on, but people are saying, including me and other reporters who were writing about the story, are saying that this organization should work as some kind of, organization that could actually
have a positive influence over this. I think this issue must be getting a lot of spotlight, especially when we are going through this campaign season.
Right, and chaebol is something on top of all of their agendas.
Exactly, they're presenting ideas to try to even out their influence and their wealth So this is going to be on the topic for a while, I'm sure. And like you said, you know, MPS, hopefully they'll play, you know, a positive and a white knight-like sort of a role in trying. Exactly. All right, thank you guys for another hectic week. You know, the typhoon is gone, thank God. Hopefully we can enjoy the beautiful weather this weekend, and a relaxing one indeed. Yay. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, today we are going to connect live to our Kim Hyun-ji, who's standing by at Seoul Station. She's there to cover a story, a North Korean human rights film festival that's taking place as we speak. Let's go over to her and listen to what she has to say. Hello, Hyun-ji.
Hi, Ji-Hye. I'm standing at Seoul Station Plaza right now, where the opening ceremony for the second North Korea Human Rights Film Festival is being held. It's quite chilly out here. It's 8:30 p.m. Thursday, but about 400 South Korean citizens came out to celebrate this event. So during the two-day period, a total of 9 films and documentaries will be offered at a local theater near the Ewha Women's University. And at the beginning of the ceremony, North Korean defectors now living in South Korea, they came and they performed. These are singers and artists, performing artists. So this is truly a place where South and North Koreans mingle together, and they want to better understand the gripping reality of the North Korean regime through the films being offered at the festival.
Right, any particular film that's being talked about or that we should be looking out for?
So unlike other film festivals, this festival offers films that are based on true stories of North Korean defectors. So I would highly recommend you coming out here when you have time and watch any of the films and documentaries. One particular film that I think would be really interesting to watch is titled I Will Still Leave. It's about North Koreans who risk their lives to defect to South Korea, and these are the people who actually experience being forcibly sent back to North Korea after their first or second attempts. And there, you know, they were imprisoned in political prison camps, and they just didn't live a dignified life at all. So this film asks, why do these people want to defect, and why are they still choosing to defect to South Korea, although the journey is, you know, fraught with difficulties and challenges. So I think it would be really interesting for you to see this film. It features North Korean defectors who actually experienced that, who went through the ordeal. So yeah, why don't you come out when you have time and watch this film?
Well, Hyun-ji, thank you very much. I'll see you back here in the newsroom. 그냥 여기 서서 하면 돼요? Let's go check out what
Some government. Okay.
Some government official. Just him and the person who does, what do you call that? I forgot. What's the word for that?
이러다가 갑자기 맞아, chaebol election. Yeah.